Mega Man 8 is the one that they decided would represent the entire Legacy collection on Switch because they used the music and menuing style from this game.
Yeah. I mean, it does have pretty good music.
Well, I definitely like the heck out of this game. This will be a tough one to criticize. Hey, there, say thanks for the sub. By the way, I don't know if you're in my Discord, but they're trying to organize Tricky Towers.
Oh, yeah, I'm in the Discord. I just have a lot of Discords and I don't.
Well, I was talking to Lauracia because they're.
Oh, my bad.
They're in that tournament. That needs done. That's silly tournament needs to wrap up. Wow, look at all the subs. Thanks a lot. I tried to tag you, but I couldn't find your name, so it's my bad. I need to
Jump, jump, slide, slide.
That's better. I need to just separate the subs alert noise from this so that I can mute those because we'll be focusing on the game's music and stuff.
Yeah.
So as soon as the title screen lines back around, I'll get started.
Oops, that's good.
I put Tetris blocks on my mixer's image for game. I'm amazed. Hey, thanks for the subs. Legion, Techno Wolf, Stock, Joe, and Adrian.
Whoa, what?
Okay, here we go. Mega Man 8. Time for the review on... I expect a lot of good points here. There are some bad things in this game, though. We've gone full anime intro on this one. PlayStation time. I think it's done well. It looks a little blurry, but I mean, it's really well done. It's nicely animated. Looks like that Saturday morning cartoon, right? Whatever.
It's I mean, like every PlayStation game basically had like an anime intro, all hyper compressed with like MPEG 1.
Yeah. There's some old bosses in cartoon vision. And I do like this song, so right out the gate. But like I said earlier, this game represents the Legacy Collection pretty hard. All of the music and stuff that they use for the menus, the style of the menus too, is from this game. I noticed. Out of, you know, the 10 that they had to choose from, they chose this game.
Right. I wonder if they just... Well, I mean, chiptunes and stuff. When did the collection come out?
I don't know, but it wasn't too long ago. A couple years, maybe. Time to go. Mega Man 8. It's because they used this menu song in the selection that I this in the boss selection screen that I'm gonna give them another slapping song right away. What kind of options do we have? So this game introduces a special weapons button. None of the Mega Mans up till now have had that, and we'll talk about that when I get there, and I'll give them some points for that when I do start using it. We have more intro, which I played this game recently. I played them all recently, just for fairness sake, so I'll be talking over most of this, but I'm going to shut us up during the big lines. You know the ones.
Yeah, the gems.
I don't know if these are skippable, but I can't take that risk, so I figure they are. So lots of originality and style points for these movies. There's more than one, so I feel like I'm just gonna give them 5 points right now for all of the work that went into that.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty good production values.
They sound well.
Yeah,
they sound good. The voice acting is,
it's good. It's really good.
it's point of view, perspective voice acting. You might like it. I love it, but some people I could see could call it bad. I don't know,
Yeah,
people who are wrong, but I'm gonna give them some points for those too.
I don't know why people might say the voice acting's bad. I don't get it.
I mean, because they have a guy read the line wrong and don't do another take. That happens. We're about to hear, so it's radio silence time for now, in this upcoming fight, because he calls bass bass, which is incredible that they, here it comes.
Mega Man, today we finish this.
Hey, Bass! Why must I fight you? We are not enemies!
Shut up. Ah!
Mega Man! Go! Mega Man, hurry! You must come with me!
You can't leave yet.
Rush Jet!
Whoa!
Bass, you'll have to take care of this some other time.
No! Don't run away, coward. You'll pay for this insult. I'll be back.
Well, there you go.
Light, what is the problem?
A strange meteor has fallen to Earth just a while ago. This meteor seems to be emitting a powerful energy signature. Something this powerful must not fall into the hands of evil.
I understand, Dr. Light. I'm on it.
Thank you, Mega Man. If you can, please bring the meteor back.
Okay.
I love their flying thing that shouldn't fly. Anyway, I am not going to give them any bad points for that. It's too good. So the saving thing off screen a little bit, because I did crop this Switch's version of this game, but man, it's well animated. It's a little strange looking. It's so well animated, honestly. It's like, I don't want to say too well animated, but it's weird. It's weirdly, like that tree has so many frames.
Everything.
This walking Met, look at him walk, is crazy. He has falling animations. He has everything. It's wild.
I mean, this is when Capcom basically hired, or like they employed every animator, every pixel animator, like in Japan. Just they had so much money and so much talent to throw around.
I want to see him fall again. It ruled. Like
Yokai.
it's just this incredibly specific animation. Like, how often does a Met fall in this game? But they bothered to do that, so that kind of stuff happens all the time. You have this guy you could knock down the hill and he'll roll. What's up, Ty Tuesday? If you want to jump in here and talk about Mega Man 8's values and lack of, be my guest also. It is Adrian. So, interesting weapon we're about to get, and I'm gonna start giving them points now. For those animations are amazing, so there's some points there, and I'm giving them points for the Met specifically. So I gotta give them points every time I see a really good animation. Here we get a soccer ball, which is an interesting ass weapon. It's definitely one of the most unique things in the game, and they give it to us for free in the intro stage. It's really good. I love it. It's fun as hell to use.
Yeah, it was like way different. It's an independent object and everything. It's they give you interesting situations to use it.
I gave them 2 points because you can jump off of it, you can kick it. Here they deserve some points for. Oh, I hit the button. They deserve some points for me being in this form but still able to use my gun. This is the first time, and is it the last time that they do this? You can use the sub weapon and your buster at the same time. You can pick, so you can always have a weapon ready. And I don't think even 11 did this.
Yeah.
a dedicated button. It's amazing, and they just forgot about this. This is what I mean when I'm going to talk about 9, 10, and 11, forgetting features this game had. Another thing, up in the top left, we can see how many orbs I've got left to kick because they measure my energy in a way that also has never been done again. Just amazing UI design all over the place.
I completely forgot about all of these like good things that this game did. Jeez.
Swimming for the first and possibly last time, I think, again, is actually swimming. It's good for once. It's actually swimming. They just don't do this stuff anymore. Like, these are the reasons why this game is just going to get outlandish amounts of points. I can understand hating the sliding part of it, and I know people are not going to like those sections. I won't either. But man, did this game get some stuff right, for sure.
Yeah.
One of the big things it did here is we have Metroidvania-esque secrets, and they are super nice because there's a limited amount of them. So this game has the store again that 7 had, except that this time, and only this time, there's another one. The store is a reward for exploring. There's a limited amount of exploring. There's no grinding. You cannot grind bolts like you can in this game, or in 7 and 11. You have to find these, and in the store is some really good shit. So your reward for exploring is a Metroidvania style reward where you get these enormous gun upgrades and just speed boosts and all kinds of other cool stuff. So your secret hunting, no other Mega Man game has ever done that in a good way, really. Not like this. They have had secrets before, like 7 had the Hyper Bolt that unlocked more E-tanks basically, and it unlocked like the arm upgrade for your gun and stuff like that. If you could find them with the dog. Those are really shitty secrets. They're basically, this game has bad bolts to find too, but the worst bolts that it have are not as bad as those secrets in that game, and it's just secret hunting done right. I feel like it's crazy good. There's a boss based on kicking its ass with the orb, but you don't have to because they made sure you could win.
That was like, I really like this one. It doesn't it like it pivots back if you get it right in the face.
Yes. Even if you use the Buster, and you can just kick an orb right into its head. It's extremely weak to it. So we got your basic. This is a pretty easy one in this game, and I feel like it's easy mostly because of all these quality of life features. Like they gave you so many good things that they needed to actually amp up the difficulty for a change. That was a fine boss. He looked cool.
Yeah, it was a different boss.
It was Wiley's contraption. I didn't mean to talk over that voice. There's not a whole lot of these in game. This is like the only time actually where they just interrupt and they're like jawing at you. I guess they do it in the other mid stage ones.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit later.
Wiley is the only like professional grade voice actor in the game.
Just thinking about the animation, I remember that in this game, even though it's very animated, the animations don't actually cause a problem for like controls and gameplay. There's a problem I've found with some games where they're overly animated and then it causes delay when you can start to actually input again and so forth.
Yeah, I've seen that for sure. In games where turning animation's a thing, like Warcraft 3 has that, where your guy's rotating and that delays your movement, and that was a big part of Dota when Dota got serious. And I think they ported that stat to Dota 2, where if you rotate a character, you can't attack somebody behind you quickly with this guy, but you could with this other one because his rotate speed is higher, and that's actually a thing to consider sometimes. We're gonna save over this incredible game I've got with 40. Well, I did find all the bolts. I do have a problem with some of the bolts, but because it's optional and honestly it's super unnecessary. Like there is room for 8 upgrades and I only bought 7 because I picked the good ones. I would say Cuphead is a game example of an extremely well animated game that doesn't really interrupt gameplay too much, but in a game like that it's really hard to animate and also still make it fair, and honestly Cuphead is the best example I can think of that did it well, but even that game has some gotcha stuff where it's just they went for animation over everything else. Okay, so here we have the store.
Welcome back.
So here we can see half of what's going on here. We have, this is actually the good stuff. The second half has some nice stuff too, but this thing rules. This laser's okay. I feel like it's still a buster upgrade, but I don't like it as much. And you can buy them both and this too, but you can only use one of these 3 at a time. And they didn't do a very good job clarifying that these are not all simultaneous. You can't have a laser arrow that automatically shoots. So this is a big waste of money. This one is. Well, this one kicks ass. This one is slightly worse than arrow shot. Step booster is a huge waste of bolts. Again, it's just you climb faster and you climb way faster. But there's a couple items in here that they just wanted to fill up the store and they didn't have ideas, I guess.
Yeah, it's like, what can you do when because I still need to remember some of these things as I see them. It's been a while.
This
But,
one's reduced knockback. It's really good. It's expensive though. Spare extras is literally just extra lives, and this game's all about good checkpointing. I'm gonna have to check that out, even if it means taking some deaths. 5 mega busters at once is number of projectiles on screen. It's not charge shots. It's just pellets. I don't know why they call them mega busters. They mean the pellets. Energy balancer is what it always is. It's got its canonical icon there, and exit. I hate that it's for sale here. I think I'm going to give them some bad points for that they have the energy balancer and exit still in here instead of just giving them to you, but at least they're here, and even if you don't look for bolts, you're still going to stumble. You're going to get like 10 out of the 40 for free. There's no way you won't. They're just lying in front of you most of the time. So you'll get those. It's just annoying that you have to spend good money on them.
Good luck, Mega Man.
So whose stage do you like?
I remember Clown Man.
Clown Man it is?
Let's just do that. I remember he's like weak to soccer ball or something like that. I think.
Nope, but we're gonna. He's weak to the tornado, but yeah, they're voice acted, so I give them some points for that. Hell yeah, they're voice acting. Even the bosses are voice acted. It's amazing, and this stage is so good. It's one of the best stages, visually speaking.
Normally, I'm not a big fan of like circus and clown stages, thanks to Arrow the Acrobat, but like they did a really good job with like all the toys and all the other things going on.
These little gutsmans and icemans. This is just a beautiful stage. So here we have a thing I cannot reach, and it's annoying. I don't remember where I get the piece to get in there. Here we got the train and the penguins dropping dudes. This kicks ass. I'm giving them points for all this nonsense.
Anything with choo-choo trains.
Oh, that's another thing. Every time we do a charge shot, we yell about it. Oh, I guess not. Well, frequently anyway. Yeah, okay. That's actually good audio design to not do it every time.
Yeah.
And they have more than one voice clip for it too. So you can destroy the balloons on those. And it kicks ass in the rules, so I gotta give them some points for that, because that's fun to do, for that stupid copter thing. Blimp. The air balloons carrying the dudes that drop bombs can be destroyed in a couple ways.
I really like how there's just so many like particles to those things blowing up. It just actually feels like that's the amount of stuff in like a train.
I can't reach these jerks. So here we have a little bit of foreground. I'm gonna give them points for this too. It's pretty well done. Stand on the X, get hit. Oh, there's a couple actual punishments for this too. It's not just a guaranteed hit sometimes. Sometimes it is though. Yeah, sometimes it's that garbage. So yeah, there's just a lot too. And I'm being held in place by some jerk. And we have mini bosses. This is new, and this is a checkpoint, so It's new that it's a checkpoint like it is. Like, you can game over. I'm pretty sure you can game over and start at the checkpoint in this game, and that's part of why it's an easier one. It doesn't hurt you progress-wise very much at all. Even in the final stages, if you made it to what they consider a checkpoint, you're there, you're in, you're all right.
Yeah, I remember when I revisited it, I didn't have a whole lot of problems going through it. The checkpoints were really good.
I barely beat him like a chump, but yeah. Checkpointing and the boss is good, and we get the mystery thing. This is a lame... I'm gonna give him a bad point for this, but let me use it and show you what it does. I think I am. I'll make sure, but let's check it out. It's kind of silly. Rush question mark. He just comes out, gives you one random thing. He's Eddie. This is Eddie's one-use dumbass weapon. It's pretty lame. They could have done just as well not giving me that at all. So yeah, that's a bad, useless thing almost. Not strictly useless, but it's just like, yeah. And he gave me a rare drop there with the full heal thing. But here's one of the bolts. So you actually cannot get all the bolts in these first 4 stages. Every single one of these first 4 stages, and this pisses me off a little bit, requires you to come back to get them. And I hate that kind of shit because this game just... It's bad enough in Metroidvanias, but this isn't that. And revisiting the old stages, I think I am going to give them a bad point for that to them because I don't like revisiting stages in a game like this.
Yeah, like if the stage changes significantly, then it's fun, or sometimes fun, potentially fun to like revisit. But if it's just like go back and do it again, yeah.
Yep, that first one we could have theoretically gotten on the first visit if we had, the bike that we get from one of these stages, and I don't remember which one. We can get up here though, and I can show you another one that we can't get no matter what. This one right here requires me to hit it with fire. So I don't know why. I don't know why they insisted on that. They did it intentionally, and I think it sucks that they did that. You can't get that one. Impossible at this point in the game. This one over here, though, we can grab. If I do it right, it's a little tough. I failed. Maybe I can, No, I can't. Damn. I'll get this. Pretty sure you can get this right now. With correct jumping. There we go. They also put, grappling hook locations in the area there for some reason. And here's another one. And the grappling hook comes off this boss, which we'll talk about when we get it, but it's interesting that those are here, because obviously those are useless right now.
I guess it's maybe just to kind of give you a bit of a tell for the boss, but it doesn't really matter.
This section, I think, is the worst part of this stage, and it's 2 bads, and it's because it's just a guessing teleport maze game.
Oh, yeah.
Worse than that, I think, there's one that we can't get right now that is bolt. I don't know if I can get to it, and it's down here somewhere. And it sucks. Me not having tornado and not finding this bolt, but it's just a secret again, so I hesitate to penalize them too heavy for that, but it's dumb. I don't like that it's hidden down there. I don't remember which one of these it is.
So long as it doesn't send you all the way back to the start.
This is it. It's down here, and I don't think I can get up there. Nah, I don't believe so. So we actually do need tornado to get up there. And we don't have that, so we're missing 2 bolts for sure right now. And, well, actually 3. What a pain.
Yeah.
This might be the one stage I actually do revisit just because of that. Because that's the whole item. But I know what they do, and most of them aren't essential for a good time. I might be able to skip them without much worry.
I kind of like the stupid transitions. Just they don't really make a lot of sense, but they're just something.
These bosses have more than one opening clip. I don't know if they have more than one dying clip for voice. They announce their moves the same way they do in some other anime games. Animation.
Yeah.
Ow. Oh, taking a beating. Oh, I slipped. That's a death. That's one. This is the Switch. I checked for bonus content, the Saturn stuff. It's not in here, which is a shame.
I had the Saturn version, but I can't remember what was different about it.
I think there's something in the mid stage that's unique to that version, but I've never seen whatever it is. I feel like it's a fight with like Cutman or something like that.
Hmm.
I'm sure somebody knows. Which is a shame that I don't get that content. Reminds me of Symphony of the Night having other modes in the Saturn version. I've never played that either. Oh.
Yeah, I had a bootleg copy of Symphony of the Night on Saturn. It had an extra area that was not great. It was just there.
Give him another point for voice acting and good fight. Good boss fight. Thunderclaw as a weapon is fine, and since it's a grappling hook too, I gotta give him credit for that. Who's next? I feel like we should get Grenade Man before we go to Frost Man, but either Grenade Man or Tengu Man here are fine.
How about Grenade Man? Because I like his what he says when he starts the stage.
I'm Grenade Man!
Okay. Obviously, this game did what some of the other ones did and divided it into fours, 2 sets of 4. 7, I guess, is the other one that did that. So they kept that trend, and they did it better this time. It makes more sense in this game than it did then because they take advantage of it really well in the later stage. We'll see that when we get there. And I'll give them points accordingly for just good stage design around knowing that I have those 4 weapons.
I like this section where they've got the 2 different colored blocks that you can blow up. It's just like the first one you came across, if you were just shooting wildly, it would only destroy the first column of them, and it wouldn't destroy the next one. It just kind of like it gives you a heads up on like what will blow up, what will chain into each other.
We have a little secret here for a bolt. I don't think I did it right, but I can jump off this to get it, so whatever.
Yeah.
We have the walking bomb here. You can jump on it to speed it up too, so I think those are nice obstacles. Separate Joe's got grenades.
Oh.
This section's kind of crappy.
Yeah, I remember missing that jump once or twice. Just that last one, it's like such a like it looks like it's a perfect jump.
Yeah. I don't think it's unfair, but it's a little lousy.
Yeah, it's that problem of like animation and art versus like hitboxes and so on that's a little bit strange sometimes.
I haven't really heard any slappers. The music's okay
Yeah.
so far.
I like the level select music, but yeah, it can be kind of grating. I don't know.
Use the claw. He doesn't like that. Maybe he does, actually. Doesn't seem to care too much. The orb works way better. Okay, there we go. That's another decent mini boss. And you get a better thing for that one. They're very generous with stuff in this game. They give you things for bolts and mid-bosses. This time we got the bike, so this is what I needed. And I don't get to use this very much in this game, unfortunately, but it kicks ass. We have 40 seconds of it. And it has its own missile mouth thing you can do, and to get out of it, you actually do have to come over here and select. Well, there you go. You can just jump off of it. So that's really well done. Unfortunately, it doesn't have much use in the game. I guess I just don't think about using it, though. That's how we get the bolt.
I can't remember like any good uses of it.
These freaking goofy-looking hammers. I don't think there's a way to get this bolt without fire again, so I think this is the one I have to wait on. Now, I'm under the impression originally, and I'm pretty sure it's wrong, that I can get a guy to walk over here who sets stuff on fire, because they do that right over here in this stage, but I don't feel like that's actually true. It just seems like it should be, because it's backtracking for no reason. So there's a guy, here he comes, to show you that mechanic, and there's no way to get him over. He gets stuck there, and if you destroy these, he falls in the pit.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't get out. And that sucks. So yeah, we do need to bring fire, unless I'm mistaken. That's the bolt we can't get here. We have a little race against time, but we can give ourselves a whole bunch of time by killing that guy. This section is alright. It's not tightly timed or anything. If it was, it would be a really annoying endeavor. We gotta really go here to get this bolt, though. There's another jumping down animation. It's good work.
There's something really charming about 3D renders that are, you know, like their color palette is crushed, so they kind of match like sprite art, but they're like a little bit too animated to look like someone actually did it.
Ah, we can't use dog again. I was gonna take the boss on with him. Oh, another one. Maybe it's not that rare. Maybe I'm the one who's a fool.
Crush everyone!
Yeah, that's right. This guy deserves 3 voice acting points for being amazing.
He's like Mad Stan from, was it The Tick? Or was it Batman? Yeah, it was Batman. I'm getting my old cartoons mixed up.
Not an overly hard fight, but it's a pretty good fight. He laughs when he hits you. He likes to be hit himself. He laughs at all pain given or received, and he changes the stage mid-fight for no real reason. It doesn't really help him out any. He uses it. He has AI for the new platforms, and he jumps around a lot. I'd say it actually makes him easier.
Yeah, because he's not shooting as much when he's going through the midsection.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. This guy rules.
Oh, Grenade Man never changed.
And his weapon is crazy amazing. So, 2 good points and an originality point for the weapon. I'll tell you right now that I love it. It's one of the most useful weapons in this game. We can go ice now, probably. It'll work out.
Yeah.
It's time to get some unfairness points. Ice will take care of us.
Ready.
Here's flash bombs. These penguins have ice physics on them when you shoot them, which is a nice touch.
Yeah. Yeah. In a lot of games, it's kind of sad when, like they bring in an ice stage and you're the only one who really is impacted by ice.
I do like this song. I think I'm going to give him an award for it. This one.
Yeah, this is a nice song.
I didn't really like Clown Man's. I mean, it fits, but it's not my kind of music. I'm not going to call that one a slapper. And Grenade Man's is pretty forgettable. I don't remember the intro stage. I guess I wasn't paying attention then. I feel like that one's good, and I wasn't listening for it. This sucks. It's not too bad yet, but down the road it gets really nasty. It's like a turbo tunnel, and they try to give you a heads up, and it's awful. This is one of the things that I feel like everyone will universally complain about in this game.
Mm-hmm.
It's full of instant death trash. The punishment for failing this isn't damage, it's death as usual, so it's really nasty. This could be your first stage, and even so, I don't like any of this. It's really slow now, so I'm just giving it 2 bads, but it will be worse and worse as the game goes on.
Mm-hmm.
One of these has a bolt on it, and I don't remember which. I'm one early, damn. Well, I gotta remember.
Yeah, that's the feeling I remember.
The second one coming up, and unfortunately it's right at the end, but they give you 2 in a row that are up top, and the second one you do not jump if you want the bolt, and I feel like that's a really shitty place to put a bolt too, and even though it's a secret, I kind of want to penalize them for that kind of gotcha. It's just gonna make you redo the whole stage.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks. That's not a very good hiding place at all. There's like no human way you'd get that unless you screwed up, and, and that's silly.
Yeah, having to redo something because it's like, oh, they put it somewhere I could not react to or whatever.
Well, they told you to jump, is the other thing. They told you to avoid it, and that's mean.
Yeah.
This is certainly a new take on turbo tunnels, but turbo tunnels were never good. They're fun once you've mastered them, but boy, mastering them sure sucks. The idea behind turbo tunnel is fast-paced action, and it's never been done really well, honestly.
The section where you're going through the snow wall is kind of cool, though. I mean, it's a nice kind of finish line.
Yeah. Our checkpoint there's no mini-boss this time. That sucks. I've seen people get stuck not on that one, but the later turbo tunnels in this game for a long time. So here's where the ice is coming from. We can destroy the whale copter if we want, and it's all good. More than that, you can use them as platforms if you have incredible timing. Or you could just use the ball and jump off the ball, but challenging myself here for no reason. I did this the first time I reloaded Mega Man 8. I did it on the first try, and I was like, yeah, hell yeah. This is a really hard bolt to get if you're doing it the dumb way. But you can totally just jump off of the ball to get it. I better just do that because I'm not quite there. One more try. Damn. It was worth the effort.
Ready.
Ooh. That damage adds up. It is. It's a really hard thing to do for sure. Theoretically, could be done though.
I'm sure I probably lost a number of lives trying to do that myself too when I was a kid.
We can flash bomb to break that open, but this one is gettable without having done that if you just come this way. And I guess you have to use the, I mean, you always have the ball and you might not know you can jump off of it, but if you do, you can just ride this thing and get in there. Get that bolt.
Yeah.
But flash bomb also breaks these. So we do have the weapon to make this really easy. Speaking of weapons, there's no reason at all, since we have a dedicated weapons button, for me to be on the Buster form. Here's the pain in the ass backtracking point. We can't get in here. We need Astro Crush to get in here, and that's smelly. But it's true, we do not have the ability to get into that area. Again, for no real reason.
Yeah. If only you had that ladder upgrade, man.
Yeah.
Be perfect for this part.
That one we do need Flash Bomb for, so it's possible to get this without backtracking, and that's less offensive to me, just not having the special weapon. But I still feel like it should have been avoided. These smoke guys over pits is interesting. They're very vulnerable. They're just for flair, they're not really a challenge.
I gotta say, the pink, teal, and yellow are probably my favorite colors for like particle effects and a lot of just animation in general. It's just like a really good just combination. We see that in some like a lot of animation, just shows and stuff like that. It always kind of blends well.
Here comes garbage. What if we kick this into high gear? It's still not too hard, but they're finally gonna get some unfair points for me here. That part is the part that gets me usually, and it's just knowing that it's coming and I still die there, and I'm pretty good at this game. I gotta give them 2 unfair points for this whole section.
Yeah, it's distracting, and then it's like, oh shit, there's a slide point.
What happens is if you jump where you feel like you should jump, you're not ready to slide, and then you get crushed by the wall every time. That's what happens to me, anyway. It's because right after all this, there's a bunch of pits in a row, and I'm like, yeah, but that's the end of it. It's just relentlessly aggressive on killing you instantly. But we're here, we're finished with that forever, so I'm not coming back for the one bolt in these stages, because I don't need to. It is just one bolt. There's nothing else down there, just a bolt.
I like all these like Mega Man statues.
Crush you. I will beat you.
What an intro.
He just spends his whole day making Mega Man statues and smashing them.
This guy is a melee Iceman fighter, and he kicks ass. I love him. Everything he does is completely fair and reasonable. He even uses one of the stage obstacles against you, and I would say the hardest thing to deal with is his big punch, but just jumping works.
Yeah, this is a neat boss.
There's so much style in everything that these bosses do, it's great.
And they also took the time to make the silhouettes of all the characters and stuff like that distinct. It's very easy to distinguish just all of the bosses and so on instead of it being compacted into tiny sprites and color based.
Nice wave. We haven't gotten to the bosses that I think are bad. They're not all good, but the bosses I think are bad are coming up later. I'm not gonna mess with the Saturn stuff because I don't have it and I don't know what they're like. Are they just refights? Oh, let's go shopping actually. It's currencies spending time here. So arrow shot will show up because it's definitely the one to buy. Laser shot's just a piercing buster. Arrow shot is almost kind of like that anyway, and I would say energy balancer, but I don't really need this in this game. Just like 7, you have so much that it's not really a concern. It's just annoying that you don't have it by default. Power shield I'll get instead.
Good luck, Mega Man.
Mega Man.
Big man.
Ready.
This stage is pretty lame. There's a lot of those in it, and I don't care for them. This mess is interesting, and it's free farming, so... This is one of those stages where they have wind blowing you forward, and you have to use it to clear jumps. If these things weren't so wildly off-screen and just obnoxious, I think the stage would be better. But they are wildly off-screen and obnoxious until you do the jump. So you kind of just have to leap of faith a lot in this level.
Mm-hmm.
But it does work for now. This part...
It doesn't... Oh, go ahead.
This part, I don't think you can be harmed much. You can fall on them and take damage. I don't think it's instant death, though. We find out. But even that seems unlikely. Yeah, this is a perfectly fine, if slow, little puzzle thing that you do here.
Mm-hmm.
You can't really die here. I can't imagine, but even if you did, it wouldn't set you back too far. I mean, we just came from Frostman stage where we had to do turbo tunnel around these kind of spikes, and they were instant deaths. So this is definitely way better. It's way more lenient for a starter stage.
But just that inconsistency and difficulty is kind of frustrating.
Yeah, it's weird. Here comes the Mets. We still have the extra lives thing going on, so I'm collecting a bunch. I do think it's bad that the difficulties is consistent, and I don't really care for this shmup stuff. It's done pretty well, though. I mean, mixing a shmup in just always feels lazy when it's not a shmup game. I hate to use the word lazy. Void of thought, really. It's just kind of like free content, and I don't care for it.
It's no Rush Marine section, that's for sure.
It's not very creative to throw in a shmup, but they did a decent job with it. It's got a bunch of different power-ups and stuff. It's really slow and easy, like it's the world's easiest damn thing. And if you know what power-ups to get, it's even easier. Beat will charge forward when you charge shot and absolutely murder things. Rush here is the best one. He just auto-shoots 3 regular pellets all the time. There's Otto and Eddie. Both do some pretty good stuff. Otto is the missile launcher automatically forward, and Eddie drops bombs like Gradius. I don't really like that section, though, but it is the first shmup I can think of. And then they do it again. It just keeps on going, and they steal your power-ups before the checkpoint.
Yeah. I mean, The only thing I can think of is that like it makes sense in the like, oh, you know, you've got to. Do you go to like the boss is on a flying fortress, or is it just like on the ground somewhere else? I can't remember.
Here you can destroy the unit creators and stop them from spawning. So it is well done in that regard. It's just boring. And for no, you are allowed to use powers too. And here's the ice. It's just crawling along the ground. It's a fine weapon, but I never use this kind of weapon in Mega Man. I find this has been. It's not an original weapon, but it's workable. So I'll give it a good point and not an original point. It's the same thing we've seen before. To get that bolt there, you need Astro Crush. Nothing else works. There's no indication that you need that. There was a bolt in the ceiling back there. You just have to crush the sky with it when you drive past, and you sure won't even know what that is at this point in the game, let alone that there's a way to get that bolt. It'll probably be something you gotta use a guide for, and that stinks. Just like this boss stinks, so that's two bads right there. There's a free bolt though, so whatever. Just for bothering.
Yeah.
And then this long wait to the end. I got a lot of problems with that section of the stage. Then we copy this again, and it's a little different though. But it's not challenging in either place. You have a lot of time.
Yeah,
I don't like this kind of stuff normally, vertical boringness.
This whole stage is just kind of like autopilot and slow.
We're back to gameplay here. Getting that energy is very dangerous. Getting this bolt is also a little tricky. There we go, we gotta use the wind. I don't have too much trouble on this stage in that part, but they do a pretty good job putting those underneath you, I think.
Are you worthy of my challenge?
Howdy.
Like, I think even though the shmup part is kind of dull, it would have been at least useful as a thematic device for, like, you know, if you're going to a sky palace or something like that, and you're gonna go fight a flying boss, but they just kind of put it in the middle, and it's just like slow filler. It would have been cool to like start the level getting, you know, flying up to the stage or something like that, or something like that.
This guy tries to shove you off the stage, which I really hate, but unlike, was it in the other game, 7, that tried to do that crap all the time, he doesn't really succeed very well at it. Like, he'll get me there because I was so close to the edge, but it's still a thing that I don't care for. I just wanted to play around with that and see how dangerous it really was, and it is, I'd say it's like half as dangerous as it was before, but it's still there, and I hate that it's there. So I do think that it's unfair to put that kind of stuff in a boss fight.
Yeah, stuff like that is, yeah.
Otherwise, I like the rest of this fight, so I'm gonna give him points in everything. 1 in all categories for Tengu Man. Congratulations, the multi-point boss. He's unfair and bad, but he's also good and original. Nice work. He's got a lot of jump over him and counterattack kind of moves, and you can hit him a lot when he's flitting around because he bounces down just for you to hit him. I didn't think his song was a slapper. I think it is a first that I gave an unfair and good point to a boss. That's just because jumping and countering and stuff is... They made sure that he wasn't immortal, flying too high for me to hit all the time. And that's why I gave him a good point. If he was just floating up there and I had used the orb to hit him, I'd be pissed. Anyway, it's time for a cutscene. The cutscene.
Dr. Light, how's it going? Will he be okay?
I'm almost finished. The battery will be charged in 10 minutes.
That's good. By the way, what do you make of these?
These? Seems to be energy resources. But I've never seen this type on Earth. I don't know where this energy came from, but I cannot let it fall into Dr. Wiley's hands. You must recover all the energy immediately, Mega Man.
But where is Dr. Wiley?
That's a good question. We may be able to locate another energy emission from the radar room. When we find that meteor, we'll find Dr. Wiley.
So, like, I feel like the Mega Man voice actress was trying to, like, coach him to say the right thing when he kept saying things wrong and enunciated the hell out of Wiley, and it still didn't work. He still rolled with Wowie, and he's way off on the line reading itself. He
Probably nodded a lot. Yeah, I'll do it, and then he just doesn't.
It ruled. Yeah, it might be a speech impediment sort of thing, but reading the line completely wrong is not.
And stuttering partway through it, like correcting chords.
It sounds like they just didn't do another take when they should have. But it rules ultimately. I love it.
Man, you must go after him. We don't know who he is, and it's dangerous to leave him alone.
Yes, sir! Let's go, Rush!
And they got some guy in the studio to go, "Warr!" So we have a mid stage here. And I believe, and again, I'm still not sure. Oh, here's Tornado Hoe, by the way, and it's functionally good, and it's a good damage weapon. It's literally the powered up version of Storm Eagle's move in Mega Man X, which is amazing. It rules, does a million damage. It's the other really good weapon, but also it lifts you up, which is incredible. It's so good. Absolutely amazing.
Have we heard this song before?
I feel like this is the intro song, and yeah, I do want to give this a slapper because it is good. I'm glad it's playing. This is the song that they use for the selection screen in the Mega Man collection. This stage, though, kind of sucks ass, if I'm being honest. I do appreciate the secret up top, but the stage itself is bad. It's the first time that there's been a mid-stage that's really a mid-stage. 7 had one, but it was just walk in and fight a guy, so it's new. It's got one of the worst boss fights in the game, though. Here he is.
Yeah. I did not enjoy this fight when I was a kid.
I think it's bad. Let me make sure, but he doesn't have a health bar. I feel like he just has too much health. They're playing his theme song, and his theme song actually is a slapper. As much as I dislike this stupid guy, his music kicks ass. He's so unfair. Get out of my face. Okay, he's just dumb, just a dumb fight. But I will give him a slapper for his song. I'm tempted to take it back away for that awful Proto Man mix.
Oh yeah, all the misspelling.
Wiley Tower. That's the name of his tower.
Don't you mean Wowie Tower?
Thanks for the tip, Protoman. I don't know why you came here for that.
Ah! That must be it over there! Ah! I can see it!
Worst cutscene in the game, warning. Because they kill that dog!
No.
Rush!
There it is, the worst thing ever drawn.
Rush!
Crushed Rush.
I'm impressed. I didn't think you'd make it this far, Mega Man. However, I don't have time to deal with you. Say goodnight.
Can you... Okay, here's your direction. Can you scream for a while? Just give me a good 20-second scream.
Just keep wailing.
Rush!
Are you okay?
Who are you?
My name is Duo.
My name is
I
Doe.
was born with the sole purpose
I have no
to eliminate
subtitles.
evil energy from this universe.
It's understandable because Duo was deafened by all the screaming, so he doesn't know how loud he's being anymore.
Duo, that thing, it's just like the one I gave to Dr. Light.
Yes. This is what you people call evil energy. Based on my studies so far, the one who obtained the original energy must be a being of complete evil. This type of energy absorbs the evil in a person's mind and then multiplies. Judging by the quick rate of its growth, it'll take over the planet with evil energy in a matter of days. We must stop it! I sense the original energy exists in that tower. But the barrier prohibits me from going there. I'll destroy the rest of the evil energy that has spread throughout the Earth. You search and destroy the energy sources for that barrier.
Let's do it! Time to go, Rush!
Well, that's
Yeah.
all of that was leading into the second half of the game, which is worse, but it's not too much worse. Also, they don't tell you about this, but the shop got upgraded. I wish they would say something, but you'll probably go back at some point, right? And you'll notice a whole bunch of new stuff when you do.
Yeah.
Welcome back!
So I have, yeah, they tell you now. So the second half of the stores here, we have incredible upgrade for the charge shot, ridiculous game busting superpower on that. It cuts it to nearly nothing.
Mm-hmm.
This is just shooting 3 times a press, which is just you pressing the button 3 times. It's not that great, not for 6 bolts, and not because, I mean, it's just not that great. So we have auto fire for it, really, and we have faster pellets. So I don't really care for either of these. But the boost part I do believe applies with the charge shot as well, so I would get those two out of this. The energy saver even further reduces how much energy you need for special weapons, so that's cool. I don't remember by how much, but whatever, might as well get that one.
Yeah.
I don't know what this one does. It sounds like it just boosts the worth of pickups.
Yeah, just a boost for the pickups.
This is nice. It eliminates the garbage idea that you have to die a bunch to set your lives to default. But I'm not going to buy that. It seems like something that should be default. Sliding will speed up, and they warn you that that's not good in the description for that. And here we have a super energy converter that will just flip pickups automatically from one type to the other. So that's cool. That's new. So all in all, there's like 3 original good things in here. And I'm going to go ahead and grab the high-speed charger because it's amazing. It's going to change the way we buster.
It's too bad you couldn't make a challenge out of having the slide upgrade and having to do the slide stages.
And also, I never put the charge shot on. But who do you like to do here? What's the choice? Aquaman, I'll say, should be last. Other than that, I don't care.
I'm not sure. This is that guy.
Two-head man?
Yeah, two-head man.
Chimneman.
I'm Searchman, okay?
Searchman
He's so
coming
polite.
up. He is. Yeah, well, one of them is.
Yeah.
Ready.
I'm kind of feeling this song.
We've seen that enemy before. I'm not going to give him points for reusing it, but he does look nice, so I'll give him a point for restyling it. Here we have some frogs. So, as a kid, it wasn't immediately obvious to me that you could swing on these, but that's extremely what they are.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole stage is built around that concept. Those we can destroy with fire, and I feel like maybe I messed up coming here before doing fire, but that's alright. I'm not worried about bolt collection too much. I'll point out the bolts that I'm missing, though, because I do know where they all are. There's one down here we can get somewhere. Foreground is in our way on purpose to hide it. This thing is a little hard to aim. You have to hit the wall with it, and it will go where you used it then. I'm checking, but I believe that I can't get this one down here. Also, let me equip, before I forget, my arrow shot, which you do here. Also, the charge time on that, if you didn't notice, is it's practically instant. It's that good. Yeah, here we can't get over these. I don't believe. Let me try a couple things. No, we can't get in there because I do not have the fire sword, so that's unfortunate. There is a bolt right below me, but again, we're gonna have extras. It's not really a big deal. Even for the sake of reviewing this, I don't need to get every item. This is complicated, but there's a bolt way up there too. I think the easiest way will be to go this way. The stage is a bit of a mess.
Yeah, this is just suddenly very non-linear in the sense of just there's too many paths, too much stuff going on.
I think most of it is for secrets, and that's weird. Here's the bolt. So the arrow shot just combines a bunch of damage into one location after the first pellet hits. And it pierces also, I'm pretty sure. The shield's on, like Sniper Joe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really like the stage much. So it gets a little bit less annoying later, but it also gets worse in other ways. This is not my favorite stage, that's for sure. Checkpoint.
Ready.
Yeah, I feel like I'm gonna have to give him a bad point for the searchman. It's just not obvious, and I don't know how they would make it obvious without signposting it that you can swing on those. I think that Clown Man was swinging on them, but that's not enough of a tip. And here, these are instant death spikes.
Ooh.
And that door over there won't open unless you shoot it and it's timed, and this is unfair garbage, but it's made a little better by the fact that I can use this without switching weapons to Buster, so there's that. I feel like it's only possible because of that, honestly. It sucks ass to try and do it without doing that. As someone who does that and always forgets that I don't have to be on the Buster all the time, it can be done, but man, it's bad.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be instant death. Here we have one that's hard to get and also death if you fail. Again, just not great. It's not a maze, but I wish it was comparatively.
Like with so many other things, just kind of hitting the mark. I think kind of the problem with that hook or the grapple point is that it looks like a grapple point for a physical hook and chain kind of thing, and it's like, no, it's just like zapping to it. It really could be any other graphic, but it's just kind of strange. Like,
I feel like they had the opportunity to show you what it did at some point and they didn't take it. I really don't like that stage. I'm giving them some more bad points. What an interesting way to open a boss, though.
Ready? Yeah, let's go. Shoot, fire.
If you dodge his things, I think he gets confused. His homing sniper doesn't work if you dodge it. That's what happens. So you can evade his ultimate move. So I honestly would say his ultimate move is that disc. For some reason, I have a hell of a time with that. Now he's hiding in one of the bushes, obviously. Yeah, so he doesn't shoot homing missiles if you manage to dodge these weirdly moving things. And then the bush that he's in shakes before he comes out of it. So this is all fair. This is harder to dodge, but you can destroy the projectiles. So you can just stand there and destroy those. So it ain't so deadly at all. Did I just cancel by shooting him?
I think so.
That's interesting.
Shoot, fire.
He's alright. He's not amazing as a boss.
There's like a lot of good theming going on with like just the bosses and their stages and like everything, but like that was just kind of like
I do enjoy the way he says that though. Homie sniper!
I'm gonna have to bounce in a couple minutes to go walk my dog. I should be back in like about 30-ish minutes if you're still on.
Okay, no worries. I'm gonna do this stage. This is the one that used their powers. Well, obviously, the stage we just did meant for you to use the electric whip a lot, but because the signposting on it was so poor, it kind of sucked. It's not poor here. They literally signpost it here. This stage is amazing in the first half and awful in the second half. I really appreciate what they did with the first half of this, and I wish that the second half was comparable to it.
I do really like the bat soul coming out. Like, it reminds me of that part in Metal Slug where you first go into a temple.
So here we are. They give you 4 signs for each of the icons right there. You can see those in the weapons. You can easily tell, especially Flash Bomb. I feel like when I walked in and I saw Flash Bomb, I immediately knew something was up with that. The other three don't indicate to me anything really special until I think about what they really are. But Flash Bomb is extremely this bomb. So, and then you come up here and it's like, yeah, use that in this room, please. And they also give you these enemies to refill the energy on them in the incredibly unlikely event that you run out of ammo. So, really well done. You use it in here and you see that it lights up, and in the background we see a yellow piece, and then green, and then red. I think this order is random between playthroughs also. Don't quote me on that. So we punch in the password, and if we do it wrong, we spawn enemies on us.
But they don't like punish you hard by sending you all the way back or do something awful.
No,
which is
so
nice.
If you miss the password, you can brute force it, and you step on this switch, and you're 1/4 of the way done with the level. This is just amazing. Like, I would expect this out of a modern game. A puzzle like this is just really well done. Out of nowhere, this just kicks some major amounts of ass. Here we have the electric whip is being used as a pushing device rather than anything else. You might find out that it's a whip in this level because of that, but it's not necessary to do that here. Here's where it's necessary. So I think this stage is the one that will teach you that. And they super signposted it. Now it's getting a little meaner, but since they did very much divide the game in half, I give them some leniency on that. This is the advantage of splitting the game in half, is that you can make the second half harder and it's not brutal to do it. Like it was before when they made Frostman's stage ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that could have been the first stage, so that was bad. This isn't so much. And in here, ice completely breaks the challenge. You get to just enjoy some fancy. Okay.
I'll check you later.
Alright, I'll be on probably.
Cool. Thanks for having me on, man.
No worries. And we have one more puzzle here. It is to connect the magnets. So this is, I feel like the last couple of games have all had one big stage. Gravity Man stage was certainly the one in 5. I said the name of, but I can't remember which ones I thought were in 6 and 7 that were really well done. I would say this is the stage in 8 that is just amazing, but like I said, unfortunately the second half of it is much worse. So here we begin the downfall of this great stage, starting with this shitty mini-boss that has instant death in it. I'm gonna use flash bombs just because I haven't really yet. I don't feel like they're particularly great. The Buster's really good in this game, is the other thing. We have these. Do they work? Oh, they work very well. The homing on these is incredible. Hey, this is a weapon where you might actually run out of energy. This boss is 4. And we get something really goofy as a weapon drop for it. And I don't know what to say about it. It's original. I'm not going to give it a good or bad point. It's silly as hell. This is a bad attempt at a mechanic. I don't care for this at all. The buttons let you move back and forth. It's really slow. I do like this obstacle. This dude chases you and smashes the one you're on. He's very lenient about it, so I think he's cool. He was in the mini-boss section too, so you had a heads up on what he was. He didn't do that very much when I was fighting him. they stretch this mechanic out too much. It's obnoxious. One of the bolts coming up is really bad too. Pretty much if you don't preload flash bombs, you will not get it. Even with them preloaded, this is still pretty tough. I gotta make sure all the bats are killed. Yeah, the golden bolts is a nice touch.
I won't hold back.
Another melee fight,
Fire slash.
sort of.
Fire slash.
In a lot of ways, he reminds me of Nitro Man, with the way that you have to listen to his audio cue to determine what to do, when to slide back in.
Impressive. Final strike. Final strike. Nice shot.
I feel like he's not a very good fight. There's not much to him. It's all kind of unfair. The thing dropping on your head is the worst thing that he does. The rest of it could be better. He doesn't have enough moves, and the ones he does have aren't very interesting. He splits in half and jumps across the screen. I like that attack the best. His weapon, though, is amazing. Again, just two original and or one original, one good for that. So, Astro Man coming up. We'll get this bullying, screen clearing weapon.
Ready.
Let's use this. I wanted to show this weapon off and rate it, so. Here's Rush, just dropping bombs. He's just dropping bombs. This is the Yoku Blocks level. It's very not too bad though, so as far as Yoku Blocks go, they last a long time, and they're all honest. They're optional for the most part. You don't need them too much. Because there's not a rhythm to them, they just kind of are there and then not, just on and off, as opposed to one by one making steps. They're not really those blocks. They're just platforms, and there's nothing to them at all. This is another really good stage, actually. So those are nice, and this maze is pretty interesting too. We gotta find the button, we gotta figure this solution out here. These puzzle levels work surprisingly well. This took me a bit when I was a kid. I remember having trouble with this vertical maze nonsense. I think I just unlocked the bolt, so let me go get that too. If I can find the way back down. Don't forget that you have these weapons to help you out. I don't know why it's doing that. There we go. We can bounce on up to the exit there. But I am looking for the bolt, so... Gotta find that first. I think it's right above the exit, though. There it is. So that's the maze complete. This part is just a chase area. Vertically, it reminds me like Meat Boy or something, but it's very simple, so... It is instant death, but it really couldn't be much slower than this. I could probably go 3 times as fast. That being said, if you miss one of these jumps, that might be the end of you, because they're gonna drop you right into it. Auto-scrolling vertically platforming, not my cup of tea. It's new. I don't like it though. So now we have to use these platforms for real with timing. We gotta rush across them or we'll fall and die. So now's where they're actually dangerous. And they're still not. Not really. But I could see you taking some deaths here. Nonsense. Just not going quickly enough across terrain that you don't know very well because you haven't seen it yet. It's up ahead. Also, the knockback thing, I don't know if you noticed, but it just doesn't exist. It's really good. This jump in particular, I feel like, is nasty, and it's because it's so close. That one I just do not like. Yeah, I do think the knockback thing is really good. A second maze that's not too much harder than the first one, really. I think I'm taking a shortcut here, but whatever. It's a legal move. Here's our door. Back to the start. I do have to make sure that I get that bolt. Back to the start. This one is the one that always gets me confused. I think my goal is the ladder on the far end. And to get over there, I need to hit a button somewhere. Here it is. And I like the way the bolt wraps right into it. That's the stage. Aquaman is interesting, but not a very good fight.
I come here, but I don't know what to do.
I think I just like his voice acting a whole lot. It's all about timing jumps over those orbs. He really only has one other attack. And I'm waiting for it. Here it is. His move. I believe it's completely random, but it's generally avoidable, so he's very much a fair, good enough fight. And I'm gonna give him a bonus point because I like his voice. He's just really good. We are missing 11 bolts and we have 1 stage left, so I'll tell you 4 of them are, well actually Clown Man has 2 in their stage. I could go back and get those now. I'm probably, yeah, let's do that. So this is the only stage I'll be visiting twice, and I think I'll take a game over instead of walking back through it because I don't have exit. This first one you use the bike for. I don't think there's another way to do it. I might be wrong though. With the bike it's still a little tricky, but you have the forward momentum that I wish you always had with it. That's one. All right. Oh, wrong button. Let's check out the weapons we just got. I haven't really been using sub-weapons very much, and I haven't been ranking them because of it. So I did rank flash bombs and that, and this one is new. It's really lame as a weapon comparative, like the tributes to it in other games make it look amazing, but in this game it stops you moving, so that's bad. It's very short range. It's just not good as a weapon. It's probably actually the worst weapon in this game, especially when the buster is so good. The sub weapons have to shine. It doesn't have much use other than lighting fires, and that's pretty silly. Running through the whole stage is probably the fastest way, honestly, at this point to do anything, so let me head over to that and grab that bolt. Those folks are swinging on these hooks, I notice. Here's this bolt. Again, I'm not sure why they insisted on that. I never understand that logic. The forced backtracking seems like it's just like a memory test, and it's a reward for it, and it's such a tedious thing to do to get to it. You have to do all of this to get to it. And I have to keep going just for the other one that I'm missing here. I tried to take a shortcut and ultimately wasted time. Oops. Arrow shot is so amazing. Going for an artificial game extension excuse? Here's how you get this bolt. It's simply a matter of using this weapon, and it's yours. Nothing else to it than that. So that's not very interesting as a secret either. Finding it is just... finding it is enough, honestly. So I figure you'll probably try all of these in this tedious section. I think that's the end. Yeah. So that was the revisit there. So those were the complex bolts to find. There are 3 more in the other stages, which puts us at 35, and there's 1 in Searchman stage that I missed because I didn't have Flame Sword. The other 4 are in Aquaman stage, so we found all the relevant ones. I'm gonna visit the store here again and spend a few. What's really good that I want? I feel like we want to see how good the Energy Saver is, especially Astro Man's weapon is very expensive, so that will be nice. I've never bought this slider before. It's tempting to try that out. I think I will. Let's see what hyper sliding's all about. Throw it at me, and I'll buy the step booster as well as the final thing. Final stage, Aquaman. Now this stage is interesting. It's dual path. And that is unique. Oh, I always hit that button on accident.
Ready.
So we have a stage here where you swim, which in this game is a treat rather than a punishment. So this is actually a reasonably good stage for what it is. Let's try out Astro Crush. I didn't use it without the upgrade, but now it's very affordable. I feel like that gives you twice as many. I don't think I can turn off power-ups, can I? No, I can only look at what I bought. That's okay. Sorry, Rush. Didn't mean to call you, buddy. We probably had 3 Astro Crush uses, and now we have 6. So, I think that's what it does. Let me look at the 32 balls. Maybe not. Maybe not quite that many. I need to save the Astro Crush, though, because it's going to let me into another whole path. Sorry, Joe. I was right, also, by the way, that he can't block that nonsense shot. This boss. This boss is weird. I feel like homing might be good here. The homing in this is better than it ever was and will be again. It's very expensive though. I'm getting some Rocket Knight Adventures vibes from this boss. I like him. And he gives you the E-Tank equivalent that this game has. Rush just starts dropping a shitload of energy on the screen. E-Tanks are better than that, so I'd say this is actually a downgrade. It's a really obnoxious switch up. You have 1 E-Tank, really, maybe 2 if you take a lot of hits. I feel like it's bad. I'm gonna say it's bad because it replaces E-Tanks, and that stinks. But it's still there. It's guaranteed to be yours. It refills itself. It refills itself every life. Here's where we use Astro Crush, but I can't do that yet because this is a dual path thing. So if I want both, there's a bolt in both paths. I have to keep going. A little bit of backtracking here. To get this, we gotta use Tornado and wait for it to disappear, not go in like a fool. Mega Man can swim, it's true. So these are instant death spikes. We can't get across there yet. Not with anything I currently have. Even the rush cycle will die there. That's where the split is. This upper path goes somewhere completely different. Even though we're falling now, it still goes somewhere completely different. Hey, don't Joe. Nice jump. There's our bolt. Need to take a death now. I think I missed my opportunity to do that. There we go. This game is balanced well without E-tanks. It's fine. I think I took too long to take my death, actually. Damn. I went just a little too far. I gotta go way back to the checkpoint. These are intentional deaths, so I'm not gonna measure them. My problem with... I mean, if they just gave you one E-tank instead of the rush thing they gave you, I'd be happier with it. It's kind of annoying to use compared to the E-tanks, which are just not... I mean, you're fighting the final boss probably, and you'll probably want to use him there, and it's like, he just won't come the hell down. Let's go ahead and bust this open. We get a bolt for this, but we also flood the stage. This was a very hard bolt to find. Not this, even though it was Astro Crush, without much indication. The bolt that was hard to find is the one on the alternate path, because I didn't realize that that's what this was. So you go across here to a new area. This is a very deep level of secrecy here. I feel like that's good work. Now I'm not sure where the bolt is on this, so I have to be careful to actually get it too. Yeah. There it is. Hard to miss, but you could miss it, and that would be a frustrating experience. This section itself, though, I don't like very much. The secret path one's even worse. So, I didn't like it the first time. There we go. It's boss time. It's been a while since we had a boss I enjoyed. Here's one. Aquaman kicks ass.
Finally, it's my turn. I'm Aquaman.
How you doing? Very interesting. I could have dodged that. I could have dodged that too, obviously. So, everything Aquaman does is fair. It looked like it was undodgeable, but when it hits the wall, it explodes, so I just needed to watch his pattern on his gun very carefully. This is an advanced level boss.
I've been waiting for you. Water cannon.
I've been fooled. That move is the hard one. It's great. Oh. Didn't fool me that time. That's the way. Jeez. Well, that's all the bosses. Let's go do Wiley. So we're back to just Wiley having 3 levels and the final boss again. It's not too bad. Those aren't great levels though. Water balloon also isn't a very good weapon. So out of those, we have 2 that I think are mediocre, 2 that are outright bad, and 5 that are very good and have utility also. I do have some more bolts, so let's go get the final upgrades we're getting, and I've identified where the rest of them are out of the 40 that exist in-game. So we have, I mean, I could show off laser. It's not great, though. I didn't notice my slide being much faster, either. The latter one's funny. Nothing else here really is. The laser would be the other thing I would show off. Which I could get if I go all the way back to the other stages and do all the way through. What a pain that would be.
Good luck, Mega Man.
It's not worth showing off, really. We got the step booster. In the bowels of hell, his fortress. And level 1 of this is the worst thing in the game, but this song is pretty good. I actually did this in one try last time I was here, but it sucks. Whether I get it right or not, it's not fair at all. So there are no hidden anythings anymore. We're done with that idea. All we do here is get through. And this is just Frostman's area, ramped up to stupid. All memorization, which certainly plays a large part in my success here. That ending is the shitty part. Like, everything's fine up until that, but what happens there, and you might have seen it if you notice, I didn't really do anything wrong, but I still didn't make the jump, and the reason I didn't is because the scrolling wasn't fast enough. So you have to slow down to get across. Otherwise, you're just gonna die, and that's really bad. That's a huge oversight of the stage. This is all bad enough, and I was gonna give it an unfair point anyway. But because the game can't keep up with what they want you to do, it's triple unfair, and I need to give them one more unfair point for that. The fact that you have to intentionally slow yourself when your instinct is to not almost guarantees failure there the first couple of times. And you can see how much better that jump went this time. So that right there is the worst thing in the game. It really is. There's not much else in this game that competes in badness for that. And as far as Mega Man games go, that's a really impressive thing. If that is the worst thing in the game. We do have some further nonsense though. We're doing electric whips over pits now. Hoping for the best. With that, it's kind of wonky. And to have my life be in the hands of the electric whip isn't a good thing usually. The orange one is especially good at getting you where you want to go, is how this works. It's strange, but that's what's going on. The orange one is the ideal one to grab. And I failed. And I failed right in front of the boss door, unfortunately. I was really hoping that wouldn't happen, because now we gotta do this again, which sucks ass. There's no checkpoints in these levels, which is just too bad. the hook detection is not great, and your life depends on it being great, so the final unfair point for the stage is that. That being said, there's no checkpoints because the levels are incredibly short. Obviously, this is a short stage. It's not even as long as like it really is like half of a Robot Master stage. They usually go all in on Wiley stages, and here they didn't. They just took an element from a different stage, made it worse, and called it a day on Wiley 1. This is just Frostman combined with Searchman, but everything about it is more miserable than before. It's really just that last jump that sucks. I just gotta be really careful to do it right, or I'll be back. So you see how picky this thing is about helping me out. I wonder if we could bike across. I'll take that extra life up there. There's a boss in here that's fun to fight with the orb, a mini boss. I'm gonna give it a good score. I like this boss. It's got mimic versions of itself that if you hit, you get punished, and it's got drops for you. If you don't have orb, you're in a little trouble, and that's bad, but you will have orb because they give you energy all the time, so that's good. They found a way. This is the problem Link to the Past has, as we fight those dumb bosses where we don't have energy and they need it. This is how you fix that. Just give it to us during the fight. So this is amazing, and it's all about dangle to dangle, as a wise man said. And I know you all want to type that in the chat. Aiming here is a little tricky. And if you do it wrong, you're just gonna go down the wrong pipe completely. It's because it's all about shooting it just right. I'm taking some hits. Let's use the rush energy item now and see what it's like. There's no reason not to. It comes back every level. Oh, thanks, pal. Thanks for the help. Oh, you got one down to me. Thanks, buddy. Well, that's it. This is one of the reasons why it's worse than a new tank. It's clunky as hell. I want to hit the fake one. There it is. It doesn't do anything if you don't hit it, but I insist on hitting it, so it's just a bomb. It just falls down on your head. Oh. A bomb that leads as a shockwave out. It's really hard to get the one in the center there. I need to be closer to the wall, I think. That's the ticket. If you don't fall for the decoy, it actually gets easier as this fight goes on. But it's about the right length. He takes that many hits, and it's just really good. How about Wiley 2? Well, it's not as bad as Wiley 1. It's an auto-scroller shmup again.
Ready.
Or am I getting ahead of myself here? Hell yeah, ladder booster. I think one of my least appreciated things about this is the walk speed of Mega Man is so slow. And I'm gonna actually give him a down point for that. It's just really slow. Here's the shmup part. It's harder than before, but it's still the same concept, and it's still not very interesting. There is a little bit of unfairness in here coming up. It's not all just enemies dead instantly and sitting around. Right here's the real nonsense. These walls will crush you and kill you, and they start weaving around in a way that you can't really predict quickly enough to dodge. And the reason why this is unfair, double over, is because if you do die here, I knew it was coming and you can see how close that was. These, 2 in a row. If you die here, you're doing the whole shmup section again. Have a good time. That sucks so bad. It's so boring. So for that, they deserve some punishment on the score. Is this boss coming out, or way to get him, Eddie. This boss is just Gradius boss 101 too, I'll tell you what. Hitting those parts, not very easy to do, but you do have a lot of sub-weapons that could get it done. I would say Flame Sword would be a good choice for that weirdness. Astro Crush, of course, will destroy all of it at once. Let's use one of those. I do not like the way it comes in like that very much. I think this boss will give you a hard time in the center until you figure out to use sub-weapons. And then you'll be alright. Astro Crush destroys the heck out of this thing. I think it's an original boss, but I don't think it's very good. So Wiley 2 is just a free shmup section. I don't know why I keep saving. Why not, right? Wiley 3, last one.
Ready.
I'm giving them slappers for the Wiley songs that I like. There's 2 of them so far. This one's one of them. This is like the only regular ass Wiley stage in this game. It's got all the annoying stuff you would expect. We're just moving on to Grenade Man's obstacles at this point. This part coming up sucks. This part right here. If you kill this guy before he throws that boulder... Oh, I'm lucky I'm alive. Let's just use this to make sure I make that jump. It's a really rough jump. Anyway, obviously, because I just felt it. I don't know why I got away with that. Must have had a little bit of iframe left. But this jump sucks. And even with the rock, it's still bad. So let's go. There's the unfair point. It's like every one of these levels has to have one. The first one had a couple. That ladder speed, though, is really good. How about that slide speed? By the way, this guy is in this game. I almost forgot that he was. No way. What the? That's evil energy. Oh my god. Well, he's Birdman now. I appreciate him shooting in the wrong direction like a buffoon. It's really hard to dodge his two shots. You really have to jump fast. It's a weird thing to say, but he feels like a DS, like Mega Man Zero kind of boss. The way to dodge those is to run with them a little bit. Feel it. Feel this. He's good at dodging my ball. He must be killed by soccer. He was fine as a boss. But he took the evil energy with him. Once again, still not learning their lesson. They don't heal you after a particularly gross mini-boss fight. He wasn't as bad as in 7, where he was absolutely disgusting. In this one, though, I still deserve a freaking heal, because... Yeah, I got finished off. And it's silly to let me be finished off like that. They owe me a heal. I mean, really, they cutscene me there and everything. I'm locked in. If I game over, I'll be in front of him again, so I won't have to fight him. So why not just heal me? Why is this thing so far away? Actually, I'm not sure if I'll game over there. I'm definitely there for this life, the lives, because I just reloaded there, obviously, but I'm not sure if, because they didn't say a checkpoint was made. I don't think a game over actually will put me there. These aren't very hard jumps, but they're tedious. Here he is. And you might think that I'm hovering over the unfair garbage button, but this is actually done correctly for once. This guy is a good fight in this game. The Green Devil. He's good. I tend to use flash bombs on him just because it seems like the right weapon, but I'm not sure if it is. It's very well animated, for one thing. This is a neat attack. I guess one of the big sells here is that he has more than one stinking attack. He does still take longer than he probably should, but he doesn't take too long. You can get some good damage on him. Once again, he's over-animated. My arrow buff really busts through there, but we'll use some sub-weapon. I'm gonna try Fire Sword again, just because I feel like it might work out for me. Just a fast attack. The grates. Just run away. It seems like anything will do. This is the default pattern that he always likes to do. Finally did it. That worked pretty well. I think everything cuts through him. Only one or two things really do good damage, though. Hearing that it's electricity is canonically accurate. My super arrow shot busts through his whole shield in one pellet, but I can just as easily chip through it with the regular shots. That's the real damage. But yeah, if you don't use his weakness, he is still much, maybe a little too tanky. If you use his weakness, though, he's dead instantly. So, lots of cool stuff going on in this boss. Even the death is neat. A lot of unique sound effects and visuals there. The fight itself is, I'm going to mark as good. I don't think anything about it is unfair at all. He doesn't hit hard, and you have plenty of time to use Rush's heal, which you're gonna have, because the Sage is easy. Unless base messed you up. And I don't see that happening, honestly. Time for refights. Already. I know it's been 2 hours, but I've been taking my sweet time.
Ready.
We're gonna use weaknesses this time. They have cool reactions to them.
Freeze! I'll crush you. I will beat you.
His weakness is flash bombs, because they break his ice to bits. It cancels his ice wave. It knocks him over. Sometimes. But even this, it's not an instant win. It just makes it really easy. And he wasn't particularly hard before. So I really like that interaction, and that's good work.
Crush everyone!
I really like the way he laughs. Alright, his weakness is thunder, I believe.
Flash bomb!
Which is, you can knock his flash bomb back at him, and he thinks that's hilarious, so we need to do some more of that. Because pleasing Grenade Man is my passion. You're welcome. Really cool ricochet attack he can do with the sub-weapon. That's not immediately noticeable, but that interaction is there, so there's another good point for that. Weakness here is wind.
Weakling, this isn't a joking matter. Watch it. Ouch! Watch it. What are you doing?
His arms are all tangled up.
What have you done to me? Thunder Carnival.
So that's interesting because it's high damage normally, but if
Doing?
he's spinning,
Ouch!
it really messes him
What
up
have you done to me?
in a cool
What are
way.
you doing?
Completely cancels that attack.
Mommy!
Just another good work interaction.
Ouch! Watch it. What are you doing? Ouch! What have you done to me? Thunder Carnival. Ouch! Ouch! Watch it. See you in my dreams.
Really cool. And I'm gonna give him a flare point for the extra sprite that they drew. I guess Frostman falling over is one, but it's not anywhere near as interesting as Dude's arms tied up. This guy's ice.
I'll take on you. Be ready.
It's not very good interaction. Ice drags along the floor and the dude flies. So really this one is gonna get a bad point for interaction, I think, just because they didn't think about this one very well.
Tornado hold.
Here's me waiting for him. It does cancel Tornado Hold, though. Not that.
Here you go.
And even if you... Here's where it actually freezes him. So, as you use his weakness, the ideal way to fight him is to use Buster and his weakness, because his weakness is pathetic. It does hold him in place sometimes, when it feels like it.
Tornado hold.
Oh my god, he almost got me.
Tornado hold. Tornado hold.
You're such a smelly boss. Get down here. Huh, he got me. He's so mean. Even using his weakness, he still gets me with that. So yeah, I don't like the weakness there. I need to just stop using it and just go in on him with the Buster. Also, you'll notice, I feel like they're making the game too easy, but they're giving you all your energy back when you die. All of it, for every weapon. This is why you don't really need the energy pickup stuff, or the energy balancer in this game. It's not very good here. It's just unnecessary. I was wondering if he'd ever break out on his own. So this move he's doing now is the only time that you can hit him with that, really, unless he's really low for some other unusual reason.
It's regretful.
Bad interaction there, not impressed. Let's do the other four. This guy's rules.
Oh, how did you find me? I feel so embarrassed.
Good work on this interaction. So, his weakness is countered by his defense orbs, but he's so impressed that you get your homing shot through that it upsets him in an audible way. You just feel like a bully for succeeding. It makes him drop his orbs. If only it weren't so repetitive. Get down here, Astro Man. This is fire, and it's good here because it interrupts
Hey, boy, come on.
the hiding of the boss and sets him on fire at the same time. Also, there's decoys, which you wouldn't know about without this interaction.
Shoot fire.
There's actually a thing behind the fake bushes.
Deadly.
Do your bush attack, I dare you.
Deadly storm. Ouch. Ouch. Go. Deadly storm.
I guess he's in Deadly Storm mode. Oh well. Pretty good interaction there. Astro Crush here. I think.
But you can call me handsome guy.
Competitor for best voice line right there. Oh, he's depressed about that.
Water cannon.
No, I feel awful. That would have been an incredibly hard one to dodge. Ooh, he got me. He flailed into me.
Ready.
The interaction on this weakness is strange. It's not great.
Finally, it's my turn. I'm Aquaman.
Interesting that you probably wouldn't have enough without the booster on it. And the last one is this, which I didn't really use much in the game. It's not really worth talking about. It's just weird bubbles forward. I'm neutral on it.
Nothing personal, but I've got orders. Fire slash. Impressive. Final strike. Final strike.
There's no special interaction here, just high damage. There's the special interaction, I guess. It's just a stun. Nothing really interesting about that. Just like Frostman, it just knocks him over for a bit.
Final strike. Flame sword.
I was just checking, but I don't see anything going on.
Nice shot.
Yeah, Flame Swordman there, he's not a very good fight. One energy capsule. Just the one. Oh no. Dr. Wiley died off screen. There are no Yoku Blocks in this game, not really. Not real ones. A very familiar Wiley fight here. The trick is to shoot the mouth so it shuts. Knowing that helps a bit. The mouth has a hitbox on it. And Wiley's hitbox is tiny as well. If you do not hit it, you will be blasted with a pretty big laser that I will go ahead and let him do once. Why not? It doesn't do a trash load of damage, but not shutting the mouth ever, you're probably going to die to that. So that's actually not too bad of a Wiley fight. I'm going to go ahead and heal. And we're back to the capsule for the umpteenth time. It's a shitty way to end the game. He's not obscenely difficult like he usually is. But there's the pattern that we've seen before, the dreaded weird orbs pattern. He's got the attacks from 7, but they're split up, which is way more doable. He also wiggles around in a way that almost guarantees that you can hit him. The Buster does good work here. I'm trying to find out what his weakness actually is. I'm not sure. I don't remember. Wouldn't surprise me if it's Fire Sword, but I don't think it is. Yeah, I didn't suppose it was that. Wouldn't surprise me if it's ice either, because that would be the worst. I do need to dodge a little better. It doesn't seem like water balloon. Ugh. The problem with him still is some of his attacks, they're just gonna get you a lot of the time, it feels like. This attack is the best one to get because it's the least likely to succeed on you. Damn. So we gotta do Form 1 again as a result of that failure. What's Form 1 weak to? Let's figure that out. Not that. It's this, I think. I mean, this does tremendously good damage, so I'll just pretend it's this, even if it's not, but I think it is. Phase 1 is easy enough that you shouldn't take a bundle of damage, and that leaves you free to focus your E-Tank thing on Phase 2. I took a lot of hits myself, though. Just not dodging anything. I do have the heal coming. Flash Bomb doesn't seem like a great weapon for him. I think it is just Buster is gonna work out. Damn, I should have healed. I didn't. Well, this answers a question for me that I'm not sure about. We do have to do the refights again. I wasn't sure about that. And it sucks to have to do it right now, but I did want to find out, and I'm finding out the hard way. This is triple bad. To mix those in. I hate it. It's like the third time in a row they've done that. It's silly to do. So we're just gonna grind through the bosses real quick. At least we get some top-notch voice acting. We're getting close to my final scores on this game here.
Weakling, this isn't a joking matter. Watch it. What are you doing? Ouch! What have you done to Thunderclaw? Ouch! Ouch!
I never got grabbed by Thunderclaw, so I'll let him get me with that next time he does it. If he ever does it.
Thunder Carnival! Watch it.
Come on, Clown Man.
Thunderclaw!
There it is.
Wimp. See you in my dreams.
It has its own voice line to insult you for your failure.
Are you worthy of my challenge?
Oh, I'm dead. I survived. Somehow.
Here you go. No way. Here you go.
I didn't freeze him. It's such a bad interaction, it doesn't even work sometimes. It's smelly.
It's regretful.
Crush everyone!
Jeez.
Flash bomb! Oh yeah! Flash bomb! Oh yeah! Flash bomb! Oh yeah! Flash bomb! Oh yeah!
Him getting hit with his own flash bombs isn't actually high damage or anything. It's about as much, maybe even less, than just hitting him directly with it.
I come here, but I don't know what to do.
This guy. I would use the missiles just to cancel his Astro Crush, just to keep him vulnerable. Okay. I get some health back, because they don't heal us after the boss either, so they deserve a bad point for that as well. I mean, really, give me the heal.
Come on.
I don't know if I should even use Astromans here. It's not great.
I'm Aquaman, but you can call me handsome guy. Water balloon. Water balloon.
I fall for that every time I think he's doing the water cannon, but there's a very clear animation when he loads his auto cannon. That one, with the sound of drains running.
I won't hold back. Fire slash.
Oh, immediately the wrong move.
Final strike.
Oh, my health is poor. Ah, he hitboxed me. Well, that's just as well. I need my health back anyway. His lazy sword got me.
I won't hold back. Fire slash.
So his hitbox extends outwards as far as his sword does, so he's a little strange shaped. Because he's holding it outwards like that.
Not yet. Final strike.
If only I got that stun on him before, he wouldn't have got me, but it didn't work like that. I don't know what causes it. Just randomness?
Final strike. Nice shot.
He does have a line unique to you dodging his attack also, which is cool. It's boss time, and right here they really have no reason not to checkpoint me or energy me up. And that's not what I mean by energying up. I could use my dog to give me a thing, I guess. Oh, we can't skip this. That's new. I didn't know that. That sucks. Well, whatever. We can get through it faster than usual, at least. But it really shouldn't be here. And, because we saw it already, so that's pretty lame. Sticks his head out of his thing to say hello. That thing coming back is hard to time. Okay, we're in good shape this time. Dang. That is the hardest one to dodge, I think. That one's all timing or manipulating the position like you have to do in 7. This one, though, it can be really rude, and it comes in at different angles sometimes. Like, he rotates it just a little bit before it fires, and that's what's throwing me off. Knowing about that rotation, I can probably dodge it now. I've got the speed dash. I don't remember what it used to dash like. 11's okay. It's got unique stuff in it for sure, but it's not my favorite. For a modern Mega Man game, they still fall for a lot of the mistakes that I'm yelling at these games for. Well, this went way better, huh? I beat him with like minimal damage. And that's finished. So that boss, I think, is not original. In fact, I'm taking away originality points for repetitiveness of it. And I think it's a lame fight. The first phase I already rated. Have another cutscene. Because why not? Full budget ending.
This is not good. He's been affected by the evil energy. He will die soon.
Make up your mind on volume, my dude.
Completely taken by the evil. You'll be saved.
I'm turning him up when he talks.
Mega Man, I can see into your mind.
Who's this cool ass robot with all the money?
You have been working so hard for justice.
Oh my, so noisy.
With your help, this planet will survive.
What happened, Mega Man?
He's going to be okay. He will regain consciousness soon. My job is done. I must go. I'll leave Mega Man up to you.
Literally a Poochie exit here. Like, canonically flying off into space, never to be
But-
seen again.
There's one more thing.
Hmm.
I have a favor to ask.
Wake up! Wake up, Mega Man!
Well, anyway, after this scene,
Roll!
we have a pretty cool thing at the credits.
Mega Man, you're okay! You can Am I alive?
Yes, you are.
A rebuildable robot is safe.
Duo.
Duo is gone.
Proto Man.
Mega Man, I have a message to give you from Duo.
From Duo, what is it?
He said, thank you.
Duo?
Not a very important message, was it?
Me
He really
too.
built that up. Thanks.
Thank you. Duo.
Well, that's the end of that. This, though, is the good shit. Fan art coming in hot, and I gotta give him some points for this. Fan art, not really. Contest submissions is what these actual are. the winners who got to pick the matches for this game. Give me those points. The final score is on board now. I've been waiting for this. Pending whether or not I think the credit song is a slapper, which I do. So, 8. Let me see something. I do have Dr. Light there headbanging, but he's not animated. Anyway, 8 is our final score for this game on slappers, and that's it. Look how much work they had to do to make Aquaman look right. It looks like an abomination with those colors. They did good work with their concepts. But not only do we see fan art of the submissions, we also see art for ones that didn't make it, I assume. There's more here than just that, what we've seen. I should move this over so I can yeah. What's this guy? Like, what even is that? There he is. Here's an interesting one to think about. There's this too. I don't think they knew what to do with this. Pirate Man is exceptionally good, and I'm sad that he wasn't in here instead of Sword Man. I think is the one I would cut for boringness, or Tengu Man. For Pirate Man, give me that. There's a street shark with a shark tail that is alive, another mouth. The tambourine guy. And Jinmin. What if Roll was bass? And Weird Mouse Guy. Volcano Dude. Or Ice Cream Sundae Guy, I'm not sure which. Two Fish Tractor Dude. Special thanks to Knob Knob. And More Rich. Time Guy. I think that is Swordman's design there again. Very similar anyway. And scene. That's Mega Man 8. I did everything except for 4 or 5 bolts lying around in some nonsensical places. But I do know where they are. They're not interesting enough to go after, so that's that. I'll be on later tonight with The Witcher, unless I don't make it. It'll be very late if I'm doing that. We'll see about that. I'm not sure. But that's it for me for now. So thanks for joining me, folks. I'll find somebody to host in the meantime. Mega Man 9 I am not looking forward to, but it is next. Oh boy. Not looking forward to it myself. I hated it. It was my pick for worst one, I think. I got a lot of problems with it, obviously. I see somebody doing their first stream ever. I'm gonna host them. Let's go say hello, folks. Have a good one. See you in a bit or tomorrow. Good night.